All right, day 30 of 30 days to sell cars. Deep dive time, right? Let's make the most of these final hours. We've got the notes, we've got that tools needed doc, and, well, this is where the rubber meets the road. All month, laying that groundwork, and now it's all about turning leads into buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. One-on-one connections, right? Understanding their needs, their hesitations, the things you just can't get to through email or social media posts. Today is about that direct conversation. That's how you're going to maximize impact.
So, no more hiding behind the screen, huh? Time to pick up the phone and make it happen. But before we even dial, what's step one? What should we do first to make sure we're using our time wisely?
Prioritize. Got to be strategic. You've got all this data in your CRM, time to put it to use. Think of it like a three-tier system. First, your high priority group, the ones who've been engaged, opening emails, clicking links, maybe even came to your live event.
Right. The hot leads, the ones showing they're interested. Definitely prioritize those. Okay, what about the folks who started strong but have kind of gone quiet?
That's your middle tier. Initial interest but haven't engaged much lately. Maybe a call today is just what they need to reignite that interest. Address those concerns, bring them back into the fold.
Got it. So we're re-engaging those who might need a little nudge. What about the leads who fit the profile but haven't really shown much interest? Day 30, do we just write those off?
Not necessarily. They're your third tier. Maybe not the top priority, but still worth reaching out, probably later in the day after you've connected with those more promising folks. Could just take a quick call to spark some interest.
Okay, I like that.
Uh,
I like the tiered approach, being strategic, focusing our energy. So leads are segmented, got the game plan. But before we pick up the phone, what else is crucial here? You mentioned something earlier.
Preparation. I mean, you wouldn't walk into a big presentation without knowing your stuff. This is the same. Limited time to make an impact, so you got to be ready. Know their needs, have your answers ready for their questions and concerns.
So no just dialing and smiling.
Hmm.
We need to be armed and ready to tailor our approach. Where do we even start with all this preparation?
CRM. That's your best friend on day 30. Before even one call, review their history. What pages did they visit? What vehicles were they looking at? Download any brochures. Requested more info. That's gold. Helps you personalize your pitch.
Like a cheat sheet for every conversation. We can see what they're into, what they might be wondering about, and use that. I'm feeling more confident already. But there's a lot in those notes. How do we know what's important? What should we be looking for?
Look for patterns. Visiting SUV pages a lot. Family-friendly features and cargo space. Downloaded a financing brochure. Be ready to talk interest rates and loan terms. The more you personalize it, the better.
Okay, turning a generic pitch to a real personalized experience. I like it. Day 30 is the last day, though, so we need to add one more element to these conversations, right?
Right. Urgency. Last chance for these offers. That scarcity, it can be a powerful motivator for someone on the fence.
Yeah, like those limited time offers, the fear of missing out thing.
Yeah.
How do we bring that up without sounding pushy?
It's all about how you say it. Instead of, this deal ends today, try, these incentives are only available till midnight. I wanted to make sure you didn't miss out on mention a specific benefit. You're not pressuring, you're being an advocate.
Subtle. I like that. Creating urgency, but not a hard sell. All right, we've segmented the leads, we've prepped, and we're ready to inject that urgency. Let's talk about those calls. How do we start them off on the right foot?
Remember, you're not just selling, you're a consultant. Someone to help them find the right vehicle. Starts with a genuine introduction.
No robotic scripts.
Hmm.
Got it. Make it a conversation. What does that sound like? Give us an example.
Something simple. Hi, first name. It's your name from dealership name. How are you doing today? That personal touch, it goes a long way. People appreciate that.
Right. Making that connection, right? Making them feel comfortable. So once we get past the greeting, how do we transition into the reason for the call?
Well, you could say, I'm calling because today is the last day of our 30 Days to Sell Cars event, and I wanted to make sure you had the chance to take advantage of it. It's a reminder, but not pushy, and it lets them jump in with questions or interest.
Okay, I'm following you. Friendly greeting, smooth transition to the event. What if they hesitate? They say they're not sure or need more time.
That's where those listening skills come in. Don't jump into your sales pitch. Hear what they're saying. Open-ended questions. What are your thoughts on the event? Is there anything holding you back? That kind of thing.
Ah, okay. Making it a dialogue. Showing them we're not just closing a deal. We want to understand and help. I like that a lot.
Exactly. Sometimes all it takes is a little digging to find the real reason they're hesitating. Maybe they're worried about financing or have a question about a model or just feel overwhelmed by the choices. Active listening helps you address that.
Okay, I'm seeing how this goes beyond a sales call. But what about those calls that go straight to voicemail?
Don't let a missed call become a missed opportunity. Even a voicemail can be powerful if you do it right. Reinforce that urgency and get them to call you back. And that's what we'll talk about after this quick break. So those voicemails, right? Missed connections. You can still make them work for you. Even if you don't reach them directly, a good voicemail, well, it can keep things moving.
So we're not just hanging up and crossing our fingers. What makes a voicemail worth listening to? What do we need to say to make them call back?
Remember, personalization and urgency, right. Remind them who you are and why you're calling. Hi, first name. It's your name from dealership name. Calling because today's the last day of our 30 Days to Sell Cars event, and I didn't want you to miss out.
Like that.
Gets to the point, gets them interested.
No time to waste with a voicemail. Okay, so we got that. How do we make the most of that short time?
Highlight something specific, something they'll care about. Use your CRM notes. Did they look at a certain model online? Mention a special offer on that one. Financing options. Talk about a limited time rate cut. Make it personal, make it tempting.
Okay, tailoring the message, creating that urgency. What about the end? How do we make sure they actually call back?
Strong call to action. Give me a call back at phone number before the day ends so we can discuss how to get you behind the wheel of your dream car. Something like that. Give them a reason and make it easy.
Much better than just call me back, that's for sure. Okay, what about those people who, live on their phones, the texters? What's our day 30 plan for those folks?
Oh yeah, SMS can be really effective, especially for people who don't like answering calls from numbers they don't know. It's quick, it's right to the point, and it's how they like to communicate anyway.
So how do we write a text that will actually get their attention and get them to do something?
Kind of like a super short voicemail, personalized greeting, events ending today, highlight a specific thing, and tell them exactly what to do.
Okay, seeing the similarities here. But what would that look like in an actual text?
For example, you could say, hey, first name, it's your name from dealership name. Today's the last day to mention a specific offer during our 30 Days to Sell Cars event. Call me at phone number or reply to this message to schedule a visit before it's too late.
Short, sweet, and to the point, perfect. But we've been talking calls and texts, and it makes me realize there's another part to this day 30 thing.
Yeah.
It's not just about working the phones, right? We got to be smart about it. Adapt. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Day 30 is all about real-time adjustment. You're getting all this data, got to use it, fine-tune your strategies, get the most out of your day.
All right, now I'm really interested. What data are we talking about, and how do we use it to make changes on the fly?
Track your calls. How many are you making? How many appointments are you setting? What objections are you hearing a lot? If you keep getting the same pushback, maybe you need to change your script a little. Lots of calls, but not many appointments. Maybe you need to qualify your leads better. Focus on the ones who are ready to buy.
Not just the numbers themselves, but what they tell us. That's really smart. But, with all this focus on scripts and strategies and numbers, it's easy to forget that we're dealing with real people.
You're right. It's easy to lose sight of the human element. On day 30, in all the chaos, got to remember why we're doing this. Not just closing deals, but connecting with people, understanding them, helping them find the right car for their life, their budget.
It's about building those relationships, not just racking up sales, for sure. But day 30, it's a long day. How do we stay positive? How do we keep our energy up when things get tough?
Celebrate every little win. Don't wait till the end of the day. Closed a deal, high five, got an appointment, share the good news with your team.
I like that. Little moments of joy keeps things moving. But what about those times when things just aren't going our way? When we hit a rough patch and start to lose steam?
Setbacks happen. Part of the process. Don't let a couple missed calls or tough conversations ruin your day. Instead of thinking about what went wrong, think about what you can learn. Maybe your approach needs tweaking, maybe you need a different script, or maybe you just need to take a deep breath and start fresh.
Turning setbacks into learning experiences. Using them to get better. But sometimes you need more than just a pep talk, right? What are those stories, the ones about those big day 30 wins? Those can be pretty inspiring.
Stories are powerful, they really are. Those stories about salespeople closing those impossible deals, turning a bad month into a record breaker. It reminds us that we can do anything if we put our minds to it and don't give up. And speaking of tools and inspiration, let's take a look at that tools needed document you sent over.
All right, back to day 30. We've covered a lot of ground. Segmenting leads, writing those killer voicemails, using the CRM to really tailor the approach, and adjusting on the fly. Before we finish this up, you mentioned the tools needed document earlier. What's so great about it? How can it help us today?
Well, it's got all those pre-written scripts and strategies specifically for day 30 of the 30 Days to Sell Cars program. Live calls, voicemails, even text message follow-ups. Basically, it's a toolbox full of tactics, proven stuff to create urgency and get those hesitant leads to say yes before the day is over.
Sounds like exactly what we need on a crazy day like this.
Yeah.
What jumps out at you about these scripts?
They're really big on personalization, and that's what I like. Not just generic stuff you read word for word, it's more like a framework that you adapt for each person you're talking to. There are actual examples in there showing how to reference what a lead did online or what they talked about with you before, makes the conversation more relevant to them.
Not a one-size-fits-all approach, right? You're showing the lead that you've been paying attention, and that matters.
For sure. And besides that, the scripts keep things positive, enthusiastic. That energy is contagious, and it can really change the whole feel of the conversation, make the lead more open to what you're saying.
Makes sense. If you sound excited about the event and the offers, they're more likely to get excited too. But sometimes you need more than just excitement, right? Especially for those hesitant buyers.
True, true. That's where urgency comes in. The scripts are really good at highlighting that these offers, they're only good until the end of the day. Creates that don't miss out feeling, gets those on-the-fence leads to make a move.
I see it. Personalization, enthusiasm, urgency. Day 30 in a nutshell. These scripts sound incredibly helpful. But even with all these tools and strategies, there's one more thing we got to talk about. Mindset.
Absolutely. Doesn't matter if you have the best scripts, the hottest offers, and the most detailed CRM. If your head's not in the right place, day 30 isn't going to be what it could be.
Okay, what's the right mindset for a day like this?
Confidence, resilience, and a genuine desire to connect with people to help them find a vehicle that's right for them. Every conversation, approach it with a positive attitude, even when you're getting rejections or running into roadblocks.
Easy to say, but how do we actually do that when we're under pressure?
Start your day with gratitude. Take a minute. Think about what you're thankful for, big or small. Maybe it's the chance to connect with buyers. Maybe it's your team. Maybe it's just a nice day outside. Being grateful sets a positive tone, helps you handle those tough moments better.
It's true. We forget about the good stuff when things get stressful. Any other mindset tricks to keep the energy up?
Surround yourself with good vibes. Talk to colleagues who lift you up. Listen to something motivational. Maybe just go outside for a minute and get some fresh air. The people you're around, the stuff you're taking in, it affects your mood, your energy.
Yeah, negativity spreads.
Oh.
So choose your company and your content wisely. Even then, we're going to have tough times. What about those moments when you just want to throw in the towel?
Setbacks are temporary, remember that. They usually teach you something, too. Don't focus on what went wrong. Think about what you can learn. What can you do differently next time to be more effective?
Turn those setbacks into something useful, something that makes you better. Sometimes we need more than just a pep talk, though. Like those stories about people crushing it on day 30, those can be really motivating.
Oh, for sure. Stories, they can really get you going. Those stories about salespeople pulling off amazing deals, turning a slow month into a record breaker, reminds us that anything's possible as long as you put your mind to it and don't give up.
I love those stories. We can do amazing things even when it seems impossible. All right, wrapping up our day 30 deep dive. What's the one thing we want our listeners to walk away with?
Every call, every single one, it's an opportunity. It's a chance to connect, to understand someone's needs, to help them find the perfect vehicle. You can make a difference for them and for you. So go out there with confidence, with excitement, with a real desire to help people. Embrace the challenges, celebrate your wins, and remember, every interaction, no matter how small, could turn into something incredible.
What a great message to end on. Every call, an opportunity to connect, to help, to make a difference. And remember, as you go through day 30, we're here rooting for you every step of the way.